a historic week in this country.
Yes, we have.
But Richmond has had a historic week and month this year. The guy I'm bringing up here is a friend of mine. He's going to tell you a little about himself. But we worked together for this city, and we talked about running for this seat. And we collaborated on the things that were important to the people, and we talked about the importance of what it was to work together, not only as candidates, but as a community. I'm going to introduce you to the guy who has worked tirelessly to be a guy that I can call my friend and my brother, who worked with me on the Economic Development Commission, Mr. Nathan-Heiss. And he will tell his story to you. Give him a warm round.
Ahmad stole some of my lines already, but that's okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Nathan-Heiss, and I am a proud Richmond resident. A handful of you in this room may know, you may not know, Ahmad alluded to it, but I put my name forward as a candidate for City Council. And my motto from the very beginning and the infancy of my campaign was for Richmond, for real. I gotta be real with you tonight. Richmond's got a lot of issues threatening its survival. What we have is unfunded liability. What we have are multiple lawsuits. What we have is a mayor who, shall we say, encourages, and not only that, takes pride in creating discriminatory environments. What we have is an overworked staff that is very underpaid. Very much so. I know it may seem as though this rainfall of troubles is going to drown us, but I'm here to tell you tonight, in this room, I see both an umbrella and I see a life raft. I see hope, right? Richmond's problems can't be solved just by one person, not by me, not by just one of you. But if we step away from our keyboards, if we step away from our social media groups, if we work together, what we can be is an umbrella that shields Richmond from all of these troubles. I've come to know this evening's host, who's over there talking to someone else. I've come to know him as... I had to. I've come to know him as the chair, or Mr. Chairman, having worked together with him on the Economic Development Commission. And you could use a lot of words to describe him on. You could use intelligent, trustworthy, dedicated, compassionate, but the word that I want to use is friend. Now, in the spirit of friendship, I have decided, after careful consideration, and after thinking about it with a full heart, that I'm going to suspend my campaign and support my friend Ahmad Anderson for City Council. Yeah. This man is going to be our life raft. And so tonight, what I need all of you to do is I need you to think of a life raft, and I need you to think about the air that goes into that life raft. I need you to think about that air being your financial support to this campaign so we can inflate it and float on to victory.
That's right.
Ahmad, good luck, my friend. I'm here to help
you. Next, we have a dear friend of mine, and she's taking a big step here. When I walked in the room and I thought about who might speak as a woman in this city. As you know, I lost my mom in January, and she was a giant. And one thing that we've not been able to do here in the city of Richmond is put more women in office, more women of color in office, more black women in office. Been a drought. The individual that I wanted to speak tonight who's not well was Lisa McIntosh. And she has been in political office in this community longer than any other African-American woman at this time. But I have a giant amongst us, my friends. Someone who is a community leader across the board. I'd like to bring up to speak to you right now, Cheryl Sudduth.
spoke to Ahmad earlier. I had to tell him, because I sit on a number of endorsement committees, that I was willing to recuse myself from some of those endorsement forums because I believe in him that much. His mom means a lot to me, like mi tía, and he means that much to me, like my brother. But this is more, when he says he is a son of Richmond, this is family, la familia.
Sure.
Is my voice to have bronchitis. I want to tell you that when I was growing up in Missouri and Illinois, we were told, I will say it and then I will translate it for you. Si no está sentada a la mesa, no se puede establecer las prioridades. If you are not seated at the table, you cannot establish the priorities or the agenda. And if you're not seated at the table, alguien say, or they're not about to stay. Someone else is not only establishing for you, they are ordering for you. Because it's not in the menu. You are on the menu at that table. In Richmond right now, what we have and what we have had for a very long time is that someone else is taking your voice. I come from the community of people with disabilities. And whenever I hear someone say, hey, I'm your voice, I laugh because I say, they cannot be your voice. They can do what Ahmad said. Not only am I your voice, you are not amplifying your voice. I'm speaking because I know your struggle. Because I am your struggle. Because I've lived this life that you are living. I am part of this community. Right? I am not here from somewhere else. I didn't come to tell you what you don't already know. That is what he is telling you. He has lived this life from the bottom to the top. I'm going to start singing from top to the bottom. But when you have that, you have to know that you have to be part of every decision that is made. Don't put this brother out here on his own. Every part of the community, Latinos, Morenos, black people, women, young people, every one of us has to do something. What we have to do is not only speak with your mouth, you got to speak with your wallet. This is going to take some money. It's going to take some money because the people who are trying to make sure that Richmond Council does not change are going to do what you must do as well. We got to go door to door, person to person, and explain why this hermano, this man, is the one who's going to make the decisions. We need someone on that council who is not just speaking. Everybody has passion, but you got to have business acumen. That is what has been missing, is business acumen to make the hard decisions that sometimes is not going to bring you a lot of friends. You got friends outside the council, you'll be okay. That is going to bring this city back and revitalize Richmond. So I'm going to ask you to do something, and then I'm going to let the man speak who he's going to.
We got some other people.
But I'm going to let these go. But the thing is that I'm going to tell you that you gotta stay with him, because we need not just only money, we need votes. And I'm going to give a quote that somebody who mentored me a long time ago and taught me the biggest lesson that I've ever learned. Mr. Willie Brown told me, if they'll give you $1, they'll give you a vote. I remember. So we got to go door to door. You got to put your feet to work. You got to put your hands to work. You got to put your children to work. You got to put your mouths to work. You got to make the phone calls. We got to do the work. We have to do it. Nobody's coming here to save us. We got to save ourselves. And it's going to start with this Superman, right?
And before we get to my special guest, I would be remiss if I did not bring up here our former mayor, Tom.
I don't say much anymore. So I'm going to make this very, very short. You know, we have an unprecedented opportunity to return Richmond to Richmond residents.
Oh my God.
And Ahmad is a part of that plan. He's our hope. He's the future of Richmond. And we all owe it to ourselves, not to him, to ourselves, to get out there and work our asses off and get him elected. So
And now we're going to have another one of the longest city council persons, vice mayor, mayor, in rotation, my friend, my family member who's known me before I was me, Nat Bates.
Let's give it up for Ahmad. Ahmad asked me to introduce our special guest, and I was honored. Because this special guest is such a great friend of mine since I was elected in 1967. You know a lot about him, and any one of you could probably come up and introduce him. Being the Speaker of the State Assembly, outstanding leader, the mayor of San Francisco. But I'm going to tell you a little bit that you don't know about him. And it's all good. When I was elected in 1967, Willie Brown as State Assemblyman and Merv Dimely as a senator from Southern California put together a group of foundation folks that brought in all the black elected officials throughout the United States of America. We met in Chicago, and what he did, he became the godfather of black politics in this country. And what he did, they educated each one of us in terms of what our responsibilities were, how do you fundraise, how do you work with your constituency, and the whole gamut of being an effective elected official. That's something that history hasn't revealed. But Willie Brown and Merv Dimely, thank you. You did it. Lastly, Willie is such an outstanding person. He's a friend of Richmond. Almost every elected official, African American in Richmond, Willie has came forward and supported. Ahmad Anderson, Booker T. Anderson, myself, George Livingston, Richard Griffin, and a host. And what Willie does, beyond just endorsing a candidate, I can tell you, Willie has been one of the only African American elected officials that have written a check for my campaign. And it's not $50. It represents 7 figures. Lastly, you knew the BMW last year, several years ago in 2008, we went out and we said, let's elect Barack Obama. Yep.
We did it in 2008. 2012. Let's do it again was the slogan of the BMW. And we did it again. And now you got a chance and an opportunity, and Willie I know going to speak to this. You got an opportunity to elect the first
African American female, or the first female president of the United States. I know Willie is going to be calling on me and you and others. Let's get some funds together. Let's get a party together. Let's get this Kamala Harris vice president to the position of president. And with no further ado, may I introduce to you, you all know him, the Honorable Willie Brown Jr.
And let's not forget he was the star of Godfather 3.
You know you said that, but today, some 12, 14-year-old said to me, aren't you the guy that said from the movie that I saw, Prince's Diary, you said it never comes down on Willie Brown. All those years, there's been so many. That as Nat Bates said, I have been a part of every black person, man or woman, seeking public office anywhere in the nation if I had the time and the resources to get there. But there's been no place as close by and as inexpensively to get to as Richmond. And I'm very pleased. Nat Bates introduced me. I ended up being able to literally tell you how re-energized I am about the world of politics in this country, but in particular in our own Bay Area. It is incredible that less than 10 days ago, many of us were holding our heads down because so many things were going on that really didn't make any sense. One man stepped up and gave us all the opportunity to almost start celebrating not his exit, but what happened as a result of his exit and his embracement of his VP to take his spot. Nothing like that has happened in this country. Suddenly, all of the things that Tom, Nat, and I and people in our generation have been envisioning and thinking about, and that is getting young people to really participate in the electoral process. We have done our job, and we've done it in such a way. But just with Biden announcing that he wasn't going to seek re-election, and Kamala Harris is being elevated to take his spot by him, it was like America got a groundswell.
Yeah.
The nature of what's going on, and the kind of things that we're thinking about. And it just seemed, it was not Biden that said, Ahmad ought to go to the City Council of Richmond. It's all of you who said that. But it didn't sound as good until Biden said Kamala is going to the presidency, and that means Ahmad is going to have a great place to pick up the telephone to get help if help is needed. As people of his generation, and no matter of what race, what gender, all in the category of the newcomers coming to the scene to help make the decisions and hopefully pick up where we have left off. I have not left off. I was asked today in one of the many interviews, what's your view? I said, well, yeah, I'm enthusiastic about Kamala, but I had on my agenda the presidency. And she might be interfering with that. I'm guessing that there are probably several people in Richmond that had on their agenda the city council, and Ahmad is interfering with that. He's interfering with that because so many of you are giving your time, your energy, and your resources to make sure that Richmond continues to thrive, continuously is elevating the nature of the opportunity to enjoy life for all of the citizens of this city. I had the great pleasure of knowing his dad, hanging with his dad, going to school with his dad. I had the great pleasure of being a friend and an operative with his mother for a long period of time. They both passed on, but they must be smiling that in all of what they invested in him is suddenly about maybe to pay off. But only because all of you are trying to be that helpful. I'm frankly here because I really do want to see the elevation of another one of the Andersons producing for this city the way his Nat Bates is right. This is a great time. And believe me, it was 1984 in San Francisco when we did the convention on the Democratic side. 84, long time ago, 40 years ago to be exact. And the first woman became a nominee for one of the two offices. Geraldine Ferraro became the nominee for VP. And I could remember in one of the great photographs I had, it was raining in one of the places, an outset near the ferry building. And that umbrella I was holding over her because it was raining like hell and she had to make a speech. I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the people like Geraldine who 40 years ago did what only Hillary has followed her in doing, and that is becoming a candidate for one of the two top offices. We literally could be virtually participating as things unfold from this election for the new collection of young folk or younger folk who really want to do public service. And when Ahmad called me to tell me that he was about to announce his candidacy, and I of course said, "For what?" And he said, "Richmond City Council." I said, "Count me in, but display me. Maybe there's somebody who still lacks me that might help you get vote." After I walked in here, he doesn't need my help. I am just delighted that so many people see the same kind of quality that I see in this young man. And he'll be just one reason for us to celebrate this November when all across America a replica of Ahmad Anderson is being on display in all of the states, in all of the communities, all inspired by the fact that suddenly we're going to do something that's never been done in this country. We're going to give a woman the opportunity to be the leadership of this nation, and the collection of youngsters of every race, of every age that she is bringing along with her, like Ahmad, represents something that we can all be proud to be involved in. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for allowing me to share in your pleasure in this work.
Yeah, thank you.
One moment, because I need this historic moment. I need Nat Bates to come up, Tom to come up, Daniel to come up. I need Jill come up, and Cheryl, please.
Turn just a little bit and move in. You're spread out over 6 counties right now.
Flash your best side.
What's in this?
Go in, Jill. Jill, tighter.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Bring it up.
Look at the cameras now. Keep looking at the cameras. I can see where you're looking at.
All right. Don't let me fall there. I got you.
Yeah,
I feel myself leaning.
I got you.
I feel myself leaning
Not
back.
going anywhere. I got you.
Like I'm leaning there. Hold me up. Hold me up. Don't let me fall.
See, they were here campaigning already.
Already. Elaborate.
He's talking about how big your checks are.
Let the candidates speak. Get out of the way.
Willie, you can kind of rude.
All right, both of you look at me now, not him.
All right.
Thank you, Brother Brown. So,
You're not done.
So I want to say this to you. I'm not going to keep you 90 minutes. I'm not going to keep you 90 minutes. What I can say has been said. But I want to tell you it's going to require work. I want to tell you that I am not, as one candidate said, living in my adopted city. I'm Richmond's native son, Ahmad Anderson, who's lived on the south side in this city all my life.
East Shore Park boy.
One of the East Shore Park boys, as has been mentioned. But I want to also say to you that everybody who has great folks in their lives, like the people who have spoke to you today, and even my parents, don't always have the wherewithal to step up and step in. I was not sleepwalking when my dad was doing what he was doing. I rode in the car in the entire city of Richmond when he was rolling in his Camaro and they had the bullhorns on top of the car. And I was going saying, vote for Reverend Booker T. Anderson Jr. for City Council. I walked every part of this community. I didn't run like Sean Dunning. I walked every part of this community when I ran in 1985, when my mother ran for City Council, when she ran for mayor, when I ran for BART. And although I did not win, I got up and went back to work. Went back to work in this community as a board member for the West Contra County Youth Service Bureau, Child Care Council, Economic Development Commission Chair, Economic Development Commission for the NAACP. I've worked for Goodwill, bringing folks who have gone through the transitions of life, getting them back to work, providing health care for them, and making sure they are being seen. When you talk about DEI, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I like to talk to you about justice. And justice means looking at policies and procedures and how they impact people, but going to people and listening to people first. Because if you don't start by listening to the people, it's like a backed up toilet bowl. You will be here to clean up all the crap. Now, I've done that before, but that's not the job I'm seeking today. I'm seeking the role and the responsibility and the policymaker role of your city council person. I just happen to be running for District 5, but I am your city council person.
Yeah. Okay.
Now be clear, Economic justice doesn't mean not showing people where the money is after measured you. It's reinvested in your community. Environmental justice isn't just talking about it and showing up for a strike and being against corporations, large corporations because they're corporations. It's about meeting people at the table and having a dialogue.
Yeah.
It's about reimagining public safety. Defunding public safety in this country, in this city, was shameless when they were talking about how we could raise money on the backs of Chevron while people were being shot on Pennsylvania Street. Because those folks who protect and serve us, they need to be protected as well. Forced overtime leads to poor performance, leads to poor productivity, leads to morale issues. I have been a nonprofit director working with people as the people of culture in the gardens of Golden Gate Park. I understand budgets. I understand negotiations. I understand engagement. I understand what it means to be able to work with the staff and the staff not fearing that if I tell you what I went to school for as a subject matter expert, that I'll be losing my job tomorrow. Because if you think going to work as a public servant is going to get there to the dais and suing people, that's not work. That's not putting in the time. That's not listening to your community. I want to talk to you about stepping up and stepping in, we, us together, to make this happen. I'm not here because of me. I'm here because of you. And I'm answering the call with the support of the individuals who have been here. And I continue to encourage you, like the great shampoo commercial said, tell somebody and tell somebody and tell somebody to get out to vote. I know where I'm going to be November 5th, but I know I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm going door to door. Be sure to sign up and be involved in this process. Be sure to let people know that the perception of the city of Richmond is we are the city of pride and purpose. And we're taking the steps with Ahmad Anderson. We're taking the steps with Sean Dunn. We're taking the steps with Mia to get elected, to make a difference in the city for you, for me, for us together.
Yep.
Yes.
But I need your help. I need you to be involved in this process 100%. The hate is not in the barn. And as long as you can hear my voice and we can breathe and you can believe, we are going to win. And I said earlier today, we look for more women to be involved in this process, and I have to say to you, I look to the group Emerge. And they are the strongest force of women in this Bay Area and in the state, in this country, putting women into office. Now watch what they're going to do in November with Kamala Harris. But I'm going to steal this from them. They say, when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. All right. I'm going to also tell you this. With this election and with myself being elected with your support, we're going to come alive in District 5. I thank you for coming. Let's say it again. When I say Richmond, you say pride. Richmond. Pride. When I say Richmond, you say purpose. Richmond. Purpose. We are the city of pride and purpose. Come alive in District 5. Thank you. Let's go. When we beat Stanford and the band rolling on the field, he is the Inspector General for the City of San Francisco and the County of San Francisco.
Quiet.
Mr. Terry Wiley.
Yeah. Thank you, Ahmad. So, I've run for office, and so the one thing I know how to do is ask for money. And so I'm here to make the pitch on behalf of Ahmad. As Ahmad has said, we met when we were 18 years old. We've been friends for many, many years. Having run for office myself, I know the importance of getting those donations. And You know, I believe in Ahmad. I think his speech just now spoke volumes of the kind of person he's going to be, which is someone who's going to be accessible. You know, a lot of times people run for office and they want to get in office and they get elected, and then you can't find them whenever you go look for them. They have somebody meet you out there at the front desk and you can't find them. Ahmad's not going to be that kind of person. Ahmad's going to be accessible and he's going to be out in the community, but he cannot get this done without your donations and your help. These campaigns are extremely expensive to get that word out. You know, and as a candidate, I'm sure all of you that are here know that candidates do these kinds of events all the time. But you've got to get that message out to the masses. And to get the message out to the masses, it takes money. And I'm someone who, me and Kamala Harris started together in the district attorney's office in Alameda County. And I remember the first day that I met her, I looked over because we were all meeting each other as the law clerks. And I looked over and saw her, and I was like, "Hey, who's that?" And they said, "Oh, that's Kamala." And after about 2 days, let me tell you, with her, you knew she was going someplace and that she had a plan. I met this guy when I was 18 years old. After we got through graduating from Cal, you know what I would say about him? I said, that guy needs to go be a politician. So where Ahmad is today, this is your time. You've run for a number of different offices, but now it's your time.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to write him some checks. So, that's my pitch.
We have squares. But again, thank you, folks. They're about to serve food. Please stay and mingle. I want to reach out and touch each and every one of you to make sure I hear you, that I'm on point when I'm out there and about. And I have nothing but love for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Write those checks.